I think the fact of the matter is that this type of argument about whether global warming exists or not is just is a waste of time. I mean, the fact of the matter is we've got one planet. We're not doing, all our systems are in degradation. We can argue about who's causing what, but there's no denying that our systems are shifting. I mean, look at your country right now. You've got floods in Texas. You've got 126 degrees in Arizona. You've got fires. You've got systems in England. We've had a sixth of our annual rainfall in 24 hours.
Well, there's always, hold on, I've read quite a few history books, even back at the time of Waterloo. When your family was so active, we've got all sorts of fires and storms and floods and things going on. I mean, witch doctors 5,000 years ago would point at an eclipse or point at a wildfire or point at a snowstorm and say, you better bring better offerings to my tent or I'll make the Ooga Boogas get you. I mean, really, isn't this just a organizing system to bring in global taxation and regulations? What is your solution to the global warming? Is it not the global? Hold on. Is it not the global carbon tax, as Al Gore's called for?
There's many things. I think what you have to realize is that being environmentally sensitive and making money aren't mutually exclusive. There's a lot of money to be made in addressing this issue. There's been a lot of waste in our systems. We've built all our systems on a theory of infinite resources. We know for a fact we have finite resources. We know that we're consuming more than we're putting back. We know that our systems won't be able to support us if we continue to consume at this level. And you can say that there's things are cyclical, but and that we've seen these weather systems before. But, this is the fact of the matter is that our CO2 levels today are higher than any other time in the last 650,000 years. Our civilization is being built around a system of stable weather systems and weather patterns. Our weather patterns are changing as fast as what
caused Pompeii or what caused famous hurricanes?
Pompeii was a natural disaster, which was, of course it was. What do you think caused it?
But see, that's my point. Is that what caused the divine wind, the kamikaze that blew away the Chinese fleet that was coming into Japan?
But let me ask you a question, sir. What is the downside? Why don't you want to believe climate change exists?
Well, number one,
what's the downside?
I'd like to tell you. Number one, I read Professor Carol Quigley. I've read United Nations documents. I've researched the Council on Foreign Relations. I've researched the different think tanks and groups that your family funds, also the things that Prince Bernhard was pushing before he died. Now, of course, Prince Philip, head of the World Life Fund, where they say they want to exterminate 80% of us, where they want to bring in neo-feudalism and serfdom as a model to manage the planet, and that human beings are a scourge. And I know that Malthus, back in the 1790s, said, oh, wonderful, we're going to outstrip our resources and half the population will starve to death by 1950. This type of baloney, and it's always turned out to be a fraud. You try to organize society by claiming there's a crisis and that you're going to be the organizers. Then you invite all the business people in saying, this is the new model, jump on the big bandwagon now, and you're not dealing with cross-species chimera genetic engineering, which can destroy your house. I know you don't care about the population, but you better care about your own house of Rothschild. And I'm talking, and so what you do is you ignore all the real environmental crises, and then you bring in world government and world taxation so you guys can even rule us with an even greater hand, and I'm sick of it. I'm not your slave, Rothschild, and your scam's not going to work.
Well, sir, I've never seen someone get so defensive. It's obviously, what they say, when you're in the wrong, you get all overheated, and I can see that with you now.
No, you asked my question.
Listen,
debate any of my facts. Debate any of my facts.
If you carry on like that, sir, you're going to cause global warming yourself the way you're heating over there.
Hey, you know what? You're absolutely right. I'm angry.
Yeah, the fact of the matter is, you cannot deny that our species our biodiversity loss is global. We're losing rainforests at 100,000 acres a day. Our weather patterns have changed. The scientific community is unanimous. I don't know whether you're sitting on Listen, maybe your shares in the oil industry that you have in your back pocket there are helping to drive your radio station, and that's why you're a bit concerned about maybe your little taxation break.
No, it came out. Wait a minute. Queen Beatrix. Well, let me finish.
Have you got children? Have you got children?
All right, just hold on a second, Lord Rothschild. Let me just say something here.
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do. I'm not a playboy adventurer.
what kind of planet do you think you're going to pass on to them?
Well, let me answer your question, because you keep putting these questions out. I'm going to answer them right now. You bet I'm angry because I have...
You didn't answer the last one.
Let me finish.
The last one I asked you
didn't answer... I'm going to answer the question. You didn't answer my question. You're using a lawyer tactic of asking a question and then not letting me answer it, implying that I didn't answer it.
Listen, I've been here.
You didn't answer my questions about your family and others bankrolling modern eugenics under the guise of all these social Darwinism programs. Are you denying it?
Yeah, of course I'm denying it.
Okay, so you're saying Prince Philip didn't...
I've got nothing to do with Prince Philip. The fact of the matter is, this has got nothing to do with climate change, sir. I'm coming on here to say, I've been to these places, I've seen this stuff. I've spent over 200 days in the Arctic.
Let me tell you something.
Have you ever been outside of Texas?
Yes, I have been.
Where have you been?
I've been a lot of places. I know I don't have an education. I haven't traveled. I don't know anything.
I'm not saying that at all. I'm just asking you.
No, that's the implication. Yes, I've been up to the... I haven't been across the... Let me finish. I haven't been across the Arctic Circle, but I've been up to it. Now, let me just ask you a question.
So you're telling me that the Inuit communities...
No, you asked me a question. Let me answer, Rothschild.
Okay, well, you answer them, sir.
Listen. Now, we all know last year that the media got caught, and National Geographic, the known propaganda channel, got caught showing images of polar bears saying, look at them, they're stranded on ice. Polar bears can swim 200 miles. You and I both know that, but you know the dumb public that the globalists are always hoodwinking doesn't know that, and you've got new IMAX programs and new Disney programs coming up going, look at the drowning polar bears. They're all dying because the ice is melting. Everyone knows that the glaciers expand and contract and are collapsing continually. Go ahead. There's your answer.
What's your point? I think you still haven't even answered.
Yeah, my point is that you guys are setting up global taxation, as Al Gore has said. It has nothing to do with the environment. I am concerned about cross-species genetic engineering. I am concerned about destroying old-growth forest. I am worried about those type of things. But you guys are gobbling up all the world's concern to just simply line your pockets and make kids read your book in schools and do all this. It's a business, just like you said, Rothschild.
It's not. Do you think I make any money out of this?
It's the same thing. It's the same thing your your money-changing ancestors did. They're in Germany, Red Shield, and I'm calling you out, Red Shield. We know it's a scam.
Okay, well, listen, the funny thing is, if you think it's a scam, I think, then what I want to know is, where are you going to live when this planet collapses?
Okay, we got a break. I'm challenging you to hold over 3 minutes and to come back, and I'll answer the question about where I'm going to live and what I think about my family. Or are you afraid? Are you going to hang up, Red Shield? You going to stay with us, adventurer? You going to take this adventure challenge with me? We'll see if you're there on the other side. I'm Alex Jones. We got a Red Shield on the line.
The Genesis Communications Radio Network proudly presents The Alex Jones Show, because there's a war on for your mind.
Well, we've got the son of one of the most powerful Rothschilds in modern times, David Mayer de Rothschild. He is a British adventurer and environmentalist whose book is the official book of the global ad campaign for global taxation and regulatory systems. And he, of course, your school children out there will probably be reading it under the, of course, they don't know how to read. That's all part of the larger plan, but there's lots of pictures for them. David Rothschild, you've got the floor. I've really been running over you. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. I mean, I think when you say that it's all about tax, I think you have to look at all the other things which we're talking about. It's the recycling industry and the fact that there's the opportunities now. It's a $50 billion industry. And there's an opportunity there to create jobs. There's an opportunity to be environmentally friendly. There's an opportunity to, have a win-win situation where businesses continue to thrive. The old excuse of saying that to be environmentally friendly means that you have to cut back on opportunity is the kind of thing that your radio station would promote. I mean, the fact of the matter is that we're sitting here now, and I'm sorry if your oil shares that you have in your back pocket are funding this radio station and my phone call.